hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion about the Boruto manga. And obviously, if you're an anime only fan, this is the time of month where I need you guys to click off of the video. Over 80% of the content on the channel is spoiler free, so I thank you for your support. But with that being said, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume that you guys are okay with me talking about any type of spoilers. So before we get into the actual Boruto chapter, I thought it'd be really cool to kind of go back and kind of talk about some things I haven't gone into detail about in regards to all the information that we got about the Otsutsuki clan, like the information about them traveling in pairs, or how Isshiki Otsutsuki was able to get so powerful and fight Naruto and Sasuke. Where were these characters before the events of the war arc, and all the different things. This is all stuff that I want to cover before we get into the actual Boruto manga chapter that's going to be coming out on the 20th. So by the time you guys are seeing this video, that should be 4 days before the actual chapter comes out. So one common question I get a lot is, do I think that Isshiki Otsutsuki was actually Kaguya's partner? And for a long time I did think yes, but the more that I've been thinking, and the fact that Amado has been walking into Konoha so confident, and he has so much swagger, and basically tells Naruto and Sasuke a lot of the stuff that fans either knew or fans were suspecting in the last chapter. And he says like, hey, this is just a prelude to the actual story of what I've got to tell you guys. It makes me think that all these theories that Isshiki Otsutsuki was Kaguya's partner was essentially us being, for lack of better words, strung along. I don't think that that's the case. I really feel like this is a red herring. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say that Isshiki Otsutsuki is going to be the king of the Otsutsuki clan, but I definitely think that he has a bigger role than just being Kaguya's partner, because when you really look at it, you have one person that is a guardian figure, and you have one person that is the person that's being guarded. Okay, so with Momoshiki and Kinshiki, that was their relationship. If you read the Boruto movie novelization, that's one of the things that they point out. They point out the fact that Kinshiki was Momoshiki's guardian. Okay, he was his father figure, and when Momoshiki was doing certain things in the novel, there were a couple of occasions where he said he needed to hurry things up because he didn't want to get Kinshiki to be displeased with him. Okay, so when you look at situations like that, it will be one of those things where, is Kaguya the person being protected? Okay, well, if you look at the Naruto manga, they state that Kaguya was a princess. Whether or not that meant she was a princess before she came to Earth, or as Hagoromo says in the actual manga, where Kaguya came from a faraway land before she came to the land that Naruto and them know. So we don't know whether or not she was a princess before she got there, but we do know that based off of the anime, that Kaguya was shown descending from outer space, and she had a regular Otsutsuki appearance. She didn't have the form that we saw in the Shippuden era until we got to the point where she ate the chakra fruit. So the thing I would like to say is, it is possible that Isshiki is her guardian, but I don't think that it was one of those situations where he was her partner. Now, I don't think that he could be the king, like I said earlier, but I do think he could be some type of Otsutsuki clan royalty. I think that that's probably where you're starting to go when it comes to Amado, because when you really look at it from a narrative perspective, to say that he's Kaguya's partner is one of those things where, why would that be something you reveal now? Like, narratively, it doesn't work as well, because it brings into the question, how little did Hagoromo actually know about his clan, and why is it that Hagoromo knew so little? But when you look at Hamura seemed to know quite a bit. They understood stuff about the Tenseigan. They had quite a bit of information, and it's one of those things where I don't think that that's the case. Like, if you look at the information that we do know, so we have to look at the things that we do know. We do know that from Masashi Kishimoto's joint interview, I believe with Eiichiro Oda, Masashi Kishimoto said that Jumper came to him and said like, hey, the final chapter of Naruto is going to run in this issue. Make sure you have everything wrapped up by then. But we also know that Naruto the Last was announced in 2012. At the the end of 2012, after Naruto Road to the Ninja, which was the first Naruto movie where Masashi Kishimoto stepped in. He did the storyboards, was involved in the story for that, so I recommend checking out that movie, by the way. But Naruto the Last was already announced. We didn't know anything about the film, but we knew that it was being announced. And when you look at it, that movie came out in 2014. In January of 2014, Masashi Kishimoto and Ukyo Kodachi had already finished the Boruto movie script. So way back in 2014, January 2014, they already knew the ending when it comes to Naruto for Naruto the Last, as well as Boruto the movie. And given the fact that those novelizations had to be worked on that same year, and in the case of Naruto the Last, before that actual movie came out in November, they would have had to started working on that. So when you start taking that into account and all the information that's in that novelization, it really strikes me as odd that Kishimoto would say, yeah, there's a main family, there's a branch family, there's a civil war, and there's all this stuff with the Otsutsuki clan that wasn't shown in the actual movie. It's just mentioned in passing, and the novel gives you more information. But I definitely think that a detail like this would be something Kishimoto would have thought about. I definitely think that's the case, because Isshiki was one of the characters that he designed and came up with information for. It would make a lot of sense if Isshiki Otsutsuki was a character that Kishimoto had some rough ideas for. So I definitely think that because it wasn't mentioned back then, there's gonna have to be a bigger role for the character. And I can think of nothing bigger than if Kaguya was a princess and this guy was a prince of some sort, or this guy had some type of connection to that royal family. I think it's too early to make somebody like Isshiki Otsutsuki to be an Otsutsuki clan king, because at that point you're just shooting your load way too quickly. But I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about this? Do you think I'm right? Do you think that Isshiki Otsutsuki being Kaguya's partner is going to be a waste of the character, or do you think that there's something bigger for the character? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.